Hi, and welcome to the Prosper Code training. I'm your host, Terri Pace, and I love to use this as a tool, making it more simple, right? You know, too often we do things and we make it so complex. As human beings, we tend to make complex out of the simple. So I love this program because it helps you focus on the very simple things, to share essential oils with other people, to build a team, to create a supplemental income, or even to create financial independence. And so I encourage you to take out your favorite oil and put some on. I'm putting on the Motivate Touch. You know, it's 7 o'clock at night as we're recording this, and it's been a busy day, and so I want to stay motivated. I love the peppermint that's in Motivate because it's uplifting. So let's start by just reviewing some of the intentions for what we'd like to cover during this workshop, right? So we're going to go over the goals and commitments, right? That was one of the steps that as you get started, it's important to set a goal and make your own commitment. It's also important that we celebrate the wins. What did we accomplish? Where did we have success? And I'm going to invite some people to share some reflections on any feelings it brought up, or how your week went, and what worked, what didn't work. And finally, we're going to go over what are the next steps very specifically for you, customizing it for your own pace, right? I'd like to remind you, right, the Prosper Code, this particular program was developed, and it's a self-directed program. That means that the course starts now or whenever you want it to start, and it never ends, right? It's a completely self-paced online course. You decide when you start, and you decide how fast you go, right? So I invite you to release any stress or overwhelm that, we're going to go through the material as if you completed everything. But, if your pace didn't include getting all these things done this week, well, no worry. Right? You're the grand marshal of this parade. And so you get to go at your own pace. And whenever you are up to a particular point, you could come back and listen to this recording and go through some of the steps and the mindset, the skill set, and how we develop ourselves so that we do the activities better and better. So let's just start right away with, the goals and the targets, right? One of the action items in the Prosper Code week 1 is to actually make your own time commitment. So how many hours a week are you willing to commit? And whatever number that is, whether it's 2 hours a week or 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week, there's an awareness that 50% of that committed time is to be spent in appointments, whether they're one-on-ones or follow-up because someone enrolled and you're doing a new member welcome, or maybe it's you're doing a group class, right? You know that 50% of your time goal is going to be spent in interacting in this way. And so did you agree with yourself about a number of hours that is your minimum, right? So what did you agree to? What was your number, right? So if you want, just you can throw it in the chat and just let me know, right? When we tell someone else, we become accountable to other people. So I invite you to tell somebody, I'm committing 10 hours a week to doing this, or I'm committing 20 hours a week. And are you all in? Right? What is your own personal level of commitment? Right? So if you say, okay, I'm going to do 10 hours a week, and you're not really all in, right? That you're already in your mind going, oh God, I think I can do 10 hours a week. I would rather you go down to 5 hours a week and be all in. Like, yeah, I can absolutely do 5 hours a week. right? Um, one of the best pieces of advice that I was given by another one of the diamond leaders in doTERRA. So you don't want a goal that's too lofty, right? So if 20 hours a week feels way too aggressive, but you feel that that's what you have to do, it's unattainable, and so it's not realistic. You won't reach it, and therefore it's not a good goal. But if you said, I'm going to commit 2 hours a week, and you know you could do the 2 hours a week, well, then it's not even challenging you. So something in the middle of the tension between really comfortable and not attainable, right? Right in the middle. That's the number that you want. So what did you agree to do? And are you all in? Right? You're going to time block that number of hours into your schedule each week and stick the course. Okay, so next, I'm going to review some of the steps that we were doing this week. In week 1, we want to just get acquainted, right? So we're going to download or buy the Empowered Success Guides, right? doTERRA puts them online. You can just download a copy so that you can review them, print yourself a copy. If you're going to be using them, you could either email it to people or you can buy a supply directly in your back office. We want to buy a class in the box because one of the first things that we're going to do is actually schedule that class. We learned about our back office, right? There was a couple of videos in this week's homework that, little snippets of how to navigate around the back office. How do I look at who are my team members? How do I see what they're ordering? How do I know if I might be eligible for a bonus? How well am I doing towards that bonus, right? All these things are in those videos. One of the other things was an understanding of rank and why the rank of elite is a foundation for success. So I wanted to just spend 2 minutes here, right? Elite is a person, let's say me, who has customers and wellness advocates enrolled underneath me, and they're all buying product. And when everybody's orders plus mine totals $3,000 in product value, that's the rank of elite. So elite is the foundation for silver, which is the first rank where you start to get some of the bonus pools. 4 silvers is a diamond. 3 silvers is a platinum, right? But they're all based on a silver with 3 elites. So it's about becoming an elite yourself and then showing someone else how to become an elite. And one of the things that I remind myself all the time is elite is just about people loving the product. Right? People buy the product, people use the product, they use it for themselves, they share, they implement DIYs and solutions for whatever problems are in your life. And we know people love the product, right? When you have a network marketing opportunity that's founded on a really good product, you're going to have a high retention rate. And doTERRA experiences 65% retention rate of people who order each year, right? As a matter of fact, every 3 months. So when we just introduce people to loving the product and experiencing what we've experienced, we hit the rank of elite fairly easily, right? But hitting the rank of elite means that we're interacting with people and we're encouraging them to create their own account and buy their own products and empowering them to actually do that for themselves and for other people. So one of the other things is that we want to stay connected to the leadership community for opportunities to understand a little bit more about the process. And so joining the Remind group, right, if you text the word at GF8GDA to the number 81010, you will automatically be included in the Hintze's Launch Your Business program. And so you will get text reminders of Zoom calls, coaching calls, mentoring calls, business and product education calls. So it's a really good group to be in. You don't have to participate in everything, but you can't participate if you don't know what's going on. So it's a great way to stay connected. And then, of course, I encourage those who are really committed to complete the weekly lessons. And you can do it at whatever pace you want, or you can binge, right? Sometimes you can do, let's say your commitment is, 5 hours a week. You could do 1 hour a day, or you could do 2 days of 2.5-hour blocks, or you could just do one day where you do all 5 hours all in a row. It's completely up to you. And, I encourage people to do at least 2 different time blocks, right? Because we're going to start certain things, we're going to have it wash over us, we're going to really reflect on it, and it's going to kind of integrate itself in our behaviors and our activities, and then we'll go back to it and learn a little bit more and increase our skill and our confidence. And if you do it early in the week, and then you find yourself with some extra time, you could always go back and brush up on something that you want more clarity. Okay, so what else? So one of the things, success is founded on living the lived guide principles, right? So the lived guide was one of the empowered success guides, and it's where we start. We start for ourselves, and we start for other people, right? How do I live the product, right? And so getting really comfortable with the different levels of the health pyramid, eating right, rest, reducing your toxic load, right? Good exercise, and all of these are a foundation. And there are different sets of doTERRA products that go with each level of that pyramid. And the Live Guide is designed to just help you figure out, well, what's my priority, right? Which one of the health platforms is my highest priority? And what would be the products that I should put in my home so I can use them every day to help improve that particular level of the pyramid, right? And so our first kind of requirement is to live it, right? To live the principles that are outlined in the Live Guide, which also means that you're going to set up your own loyalty rewards order, right? And my suggestion is 100 or 125 PV. So tell me, for those who are on the call or as you're listening to the recording, right? Why do we say 125 PV? Well, that's because doTERRA offers a free product every single month at 125 PV if it's before the 15th of the month, right? So if you process your order anywhere from the 1st to the 15th and the value of your order is 125 points, you'll get whatever the free product is that month, right? So, we all love free products, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I can't really keep it under 125 PV, right? I'm on the vitamins, which is a platform for health, on that bottom rank, right? The biggest thing that you can do is to eat right. And so, I take the supplements, and then I use the trim shake, right? I definitely use essential oils all the time to help my emotional well-being. I love using citrus oils to help keep my toxic load at bay. And then, I spot pick which oil I need every day, so it's easy to get to 125 PV. Okay, so one of the next steps, which is probably the meatiest of all of our steps this week, was to create your 100 names list and to categorize it, right? So I know sometimes that feels daunting, but you do know more people than you think you know. And there was a tool that's in one of the lessons this week. I think it was on, let me just see, I don't remember which day it was, but there's a tool to help you expand your contact list, right? So it's easy when you're in your warm market, right? You're going to go to your family members, your very close friends, the people that maybe are around you all day at work. But there are a lot of other people that you touch every day, right? And so as you're living in awareness, right? Like, how can I touch these people's lives in a different way? By sharing an oil experience and an essential oil, right? Passing along hope, right? So when I share a sample, I'm passing along the hope that I have felt and realized onto someone else, right? So when we look at it that way, who can I serve? Who can I bring some hope into their life? Now your name list gets enormous, right? There are so many people that pass through our lives that need that little bit of hope. And that's why I do this. That's why many people do this. So creating your 100 names list, right? Get as many people as you can, and then go through it, categorize it. Look at, well, these are the people who would be probably the most interested in the natural solutions lifestyle that we're talking about. These are the people who maybe need it from a health perspective or an emotional perspective the most. And don't forget those people that could really financially use the supplemental income and how we can offer that to them as a solution to their financial pain, right? So we categorize it and we look for the people who, like, these are the people who are influencers in their own circles. They're open to trying new things. They're people you want to spend a lot of time with, because as we start sharing oils, you're going to naturally start sharing more and more of your time, because it's like it starts as a commonness, and all of a sudden they become your best friends. So I've been blessed with a lot of essential oil users who are now, you know, it's like I say this all the time. I'm like, you know, it's one of the things that as I talk about the benefits of doing doTERRA as a profession, I'm like, well, you know, like, oh my God, not another nice person. Like, I just, like, it's such a beautiful perk that you have more and more beautiful, you know, like-minded, like-hearted people who enter your life. And, you know, it just ever expands. So, you know, every time I turn around, even if it's someone that I enrolled introduces me to someone they enrolled, and that person is just as nice as the first. And so I really get excited. So when you're putting your names list together and you're categorizing it, I want you to think about the people who lift your spirit just by being with them. Right? Is there someone that comes to mind that you would really like to spend more time with? Maybe that's the person that you start with. Okay. Now, remember, you can throw questions or raise your hand. Throw your questions in the chat or raise your hand if you have something to share. But we're going to go through this, and then I'm going to open it up for some reflections. Now, the next step was to actually go and schedule a class or schedule a one-on-one. Now, this could be informal, right? You could sit at your kitchen table and, you know, go over essential oils with somebody. But even though it's informal, whether it's formal or informal, I want it to be intentional, right? It's about, it's my intention to bring oils to you. And one of the things that we were taught in the Emerge Sales Training Program is not to sell on the fly, you know, or too often, like last week when we were going through what are the things that get in the way, right? I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be that person that people like, oh God, here she comes again, right? And so that means that we never want to kind of be backhanded, right? And so, okay, we're going to have tea together, and I'm just going to, you know, drop the bomb about essential oils on her. I said, it would be much better if it was intentional. So you announce this to the person as part of your intention. While we're together, I'd really like to share some of the things that I've experienced by using essential oils. I'm sure you're going to love it. And, you know, hopefully we'll have a really good interactive conversation, and we can explore how it might help you, right? So you don't want to, you want to be more transparent as much as you can, right? This helps keep you in that service mindset. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not going to drop the bomb and try to get a sale out of you. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you experience that joy and that hope that there is a solution to whatever's going on in your life, right? Okay, so just Whether it's formal or informal, we just want to make sure that it's intentional. Okay. With that comes this confidence in inviting people. And part of building that confidence, there was a couple of videos in this week's work where it helps you find that confidence that I have experienced amazing things by using the doTERRA essential oils. And I'm so confident that you're going to experience the same thing, right? Because the product is so rock solid, I have no doubt that when I hand a sample to someone, if they actually take the cap off, I will definitely get a call the next day or that night. And if I don't get that phone call, I know they didn't use it, right? How many people have had that happen, right? When we share a sample, we know that it's going to work. And whether people create an account or not is not the issue, right? It's really about feeling confident in inviting people. So hopefully as you go through the material on inviting people, I would like you to remember that there's different levels of what we're inviting people to, right? Most people, when you think of inviting, people automatically go, I'm inviting people to an event. But before we even invite them to an event, we're inviting them to discover, right? There's a door here, that behind that door is this world of natural solutions and a whole different way of living your life. And so the first invitation is, are you open to discover more about natural solutions? What do you know about essential oils and natural solutions, right? So that's the first door we bring people through. And then the next one is the invitation to discover more. Are you open to discovering more? And then finally, after you get yeses, then you go to, well, I'm having an event on blah, blah, blah day, and I would really love for you to come. I think that, and then you hide the content. We're going to be going over these oils, and this is why it would be valuable to you, right? We tie value into that, right? And again, when I'm adding value to their life, I'm in service to them. And when I'm in service, I'm not in sales, and so inviting people is not uncomfortable. Okay. So next one is to get acquainted with the basics of the compensation plan. So the comp plan is, it's complicated, right? It's designed for this long-term growth. It's designed to be a backloaded plan that instills leadership activities in its members, right? So there's 5 different ways that you can earn money. There's do's and don'ts of how you create your order to make sure that you get this bonus versus that bonus, right? And so there is some nuance to maximizing your income potential by understanding the comp plan. But for yourself, and if you're already there and you're helping other people, I want to remind you, don't start with the infield fly rule. Okay, so I was listening to this podcast, and it was about when we're sharing our faith with other people, and we immediately go to the really complicated issues instead of just the joy of prayer and following Christ, right? So the podcast was amazing because he was talking about, he's like, when we want to share, let's say, teaching a 7-year-old how to play baseball, right? It's t-ball. We let them throw the ball around. We let them run around the bases and just have some fun. And we get to the infield fly rule years later, right? It's a very specialized rule when there's very special things going on the field to protect the batter and the fielders. So, but don't go to the infield fly rule when you're first getting started, right? Let's just start with the basics, right? And so this week's work focused on a couple of the basics, like the 2 bonuses that you will most likely see first, which is the fast start bonus, which is a bonus for sharing with people, and the power of 3 bonus, which is how we structure our team in these small groups of 3 and empowering people to do the same. And then as we go through creating teams and having wholesale customers and wellness advocates, we're on the lookout for a leader and a builder. And what do they look like, right? How would I know when they enroll, right? We have this intuition a lot of times. And, you know, some of the videos that are in this week's work are going to point you to, well, how do I know that this person has leadership capability? Keep them closer, right? We're going to go into that a little bit later. We're going to get do a little bit deeper dive on placement strategies. And finally, you know, one of the things that we need to do is make it fun. Make it fun for you, make it fun for them, especially in the summertime, but all year round, right? There should be, the activities that you're doing should be on your joy list, right? This is the best job that I've ever had. So hopefully you're making it fun too. Okay, now Dawn asked the question, where can I get the Empowered Success Guides and the homework? So Dawn, when you are part of when you've registered for the Cash the Code program, which is on the Prosper Code website, the homework is embedded in each of the day's activities, right? And so as you do each of the lessons, it kind of clicks it off, and you see how much you're doing in relation to the total amount. And the Empowered Success Guides are right on the doTERRA website. So I can actually jump off here and show you where they are. So if you go to the doTERRA website, there's a lot of resources for the wellness advocates, right? And so if you go here to advocates, you get this big drop down, right? And so under here, under education, right, the doTERRA University is a lot of product education, as well as some business tips. There is the Empowered Life series, which is webinars that help us learn more and more protocols for using these essential oils in our life. The Empowered Success program is this business section. And so all of the guides here, so if you just click here, all of the guides are here, right? And so the Live guide was this week, right? And so you can just download it, or you can buy either a 10-pack or a 20-pack, or even a single guide. I will tell you for sure that buying it directly here is a lot cheaper than printing it on your own, and it's much more professional looking. So I highly encourage you to just buy a set of guides here. And this could be right inside your monthly order. Okay, so let's go back. So inside the Cash the Code system, so as you did each of the different tasks, you get this little check mark. And so your percentage complete slides around this bar so that you know how you're doing. And we've had a bunch of people who did really good this week. But again, I'm going to just remind you that it is a self-directed program. And so it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you do it, right? It's really completely up to you, right? So I really invite you to let go of any kind of stress or any kind of overwhelm, right? I know I talked to a few people already during the week, and they were like, oh, I'm already behind. I didn't keep up with the homework. And I'm like, it's okay. This call, this check-in call, is really to take you through what is this week going to bring you, right? In terms of skill development, right? It's not meant to go through it. I'm not your accountability partner here. I can be an accountability partner, but that would be outside of the purview of these calls, right? It's really just to kind of go through what's included in these weeks and to keep you kind of on task. For people who are actually committed to doing this program in the 8 weeks, right? We'll be doing these calls for 4 weeks, and then you'll continue on with the last 4 weeks on your own. But, you know, it really is very good, right? Tips on successful inviting, right? You can just read those things here. There's the videos for the compensation plan, goal setting, and discovering your why, right? Really important tasks right? This is a really simple video that you can even share with other people that kind of talks about, you know, the power of 3 bonus and, you know, encouraging people to see just how easy it is to build a team and get your products for free, right? If we could just do that, if we could just turn someone on to sharing with other people and getting their products for free, you know, and building their power of 3 bonus to either $50, $250, or $1,500 a month, we would be improving the lives of so many people if we just did that. Okay? All right, so let's go back here. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to, Pat Trutner, are you on the call? Yes, she is on the call. I'm going to unmute you.
Okay.
Pat was very excited this week and did move through the program. And so I would love to hear some of your reflections. First, let me just say that Pat used to live around the corner from me, and she would come to almost every single class. It was really a joy. It was a joy to have you because you were so excited about learning about the essential oils, and your passion for sharing with other people just was bubbling over. And so she moved. She moved to a whole new state with a whole new environment of people. And she didn't just sit back and say, okay, I don't know anybody, I can't do this. She's already enrolled tons of people in her new area. And so she's using this as a mechanism to insert herself and integrate herself into the new community and expanding her sphere of influence. And so I love that even today, she's participating in this program so she can learn more herself. How do you make it easy and duplicatable? And how do I bring that to these people that I'm you know, coaching and mentoring? And so I would love to hear some of your insights from this week, Pat.
Okay. Well, first of all, Terry, what you said about going to your classes, I was going to Terry's 101 classes and her Wednesday morning classes. What was that? I've got my oils now. What was that? The Wednesday morning classes?
Well, yeah, something
yeah.
like that. Well, the Wednesday morning was the power and possibilities of a
Yes. And because every time I went, I learned something new. Somebody had a question they asked, and I learned something new. So even though it was a one-on-one class, or the power and possibilities was great because people just brought up different subjects, or you had a different subject planned. So always go to even the one-on-one classes. I went to them right up until the time I moved. They were great, and they really were so helpful. And then when I moved down here, like you said, I knew nobody. So I just had to like dive right into it. And I did find 2 really good builders. So I'm really excited about that. And they are coming over tomorrow night with a 3rd person that's kind of on the fence. And we are having a leadership business meeting. And I'm going to bring up a lot of this stuff. One thing I loved from the videos this week was explaining about residual income. A lot of people don't understand that's like a forever thing. And, you know, it's the haul it in buckets versus building a water pipeline. And it's as simple as that. And, you know, I do get some people who say they don't have money to order the oils in order to get commission, and you know, try to explain some things you've explained to me about how we can try to help them build quickly. And some of them sort of have blocks on that. So I'm working on that. But this program, even though a lot of the stuff in it, like explaining LRP, it's very basic and I already know that, it's explaining it in a way that I can either share this, well, I will share this program with them, but it also refreshes my mind. So when I explain it, I can explain it in a real easy way for them to understand. It's one thing Glenn has said, and he's joined me. He's retired now. He's joined me in this business, which is great. But doing the techie stuff behind the scenes. But he always said, when you explain LRP, I just don't get it. It just doesn't click. So I'm trying to find the easiest way to explain it, because if he's hearing me explain it to somebody and he's like, I still don't get it, then it's not simplified enough. So this program is just, it's so easy and explains everything about doTERRA. This first week, there was a lot that I knew, but in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is a great way for me to explain to somebody else. So whether you're a beginner, it's really easy for you to understand, or whether you're someone who's been in it for a while, it just refreshes your memory on your mind on how to explain it to somebody else.
Yeah, and when you encourage someone to just come and register for this program and start doing it step by step for themselves, right? It's easy to digest, right? So it takes the pressure off of you to find those perfect words, right? It's nice that we're learning a better way to invite people to discover more about the natural solutions lifestyle, about membership with doTERRA and getting products every month, and about the business opportunity. It's nice that we have, you know, a desire to get better at saying that. But I love that inviting them right into this program and, you know, telling them, go and watch this video in lesson 1, day 3. Really, okay, go watch the video and then let's have a conversation, because now there's a common point. Okay, you know, watch it and ask me questions. You know, so I feel like it takes the pressure off me to find some kind of system and just tools.
Definitely. And when they watch it, they may have a different mindset and they may come up with other questions that we didn't think of, or we didn't think was, like, we already understood it. So we didn't know it would be something that they'd be questioning. So, you know, that's really good, because they think of it on their own, and they, you know, everybody who's learning has their own questions. And I just think this is great. And I did share your classes with some people. I guess they just didn't have the time to hop on, but I am going to also then tomorrow night, when I have my class for my builders, let them know that this is something that they should go on and do themselves, and, you know, we can talk about it.
And that's great. And you know, one of the things you were just talking about, right, it's about finding simple things, right? Simple duplicates. If we make it too hard, if we make it too complex, it does not duplicate. People can't see themselves doing it. They can't see themselves fitting it into their life. But, you know, when we keep it really simple and we keep it manageable, then they can do it. And one of the things that I have found, right, we are creating a team culture. And hopefully the culture that I am kind of creating is one where there's a desire to learn more, right? That the reason you come to classes and learn something new is because I'm on this journey to continue to learn every single week. I watch a product video. I read some kind of science study about an essential oil and how it was used in a new and integrative way. And I'm still learning. I've been doing this, you know, 8 years, and I still learn more about the products, more about my body, right? Yeah. So don't ever think that you need to know more in order to share with people, because you already know enough, right? And it's more about, you know, we're sharing hope, and oils happen to be the vehicle of how we're bringing them that hope. And when we're kind of talking about culture and what we're creating is a system, right? We're showing people, okay, create this account in the Health and Wellness online course so you learn more about the product. And for people who want to share, create another sign-on for the Cash the Code program. So you have 2 different programs that you offer people to get them started. And that duplicates. When you show it to them, they're going to show it to their people, right? They don't have to come all the way back to me to learn it. You've brought it to them, and now they're going to bring it to their own people. So what else duplicates, though, is your limitation, right? Anything that you put a limit on is going to duplicate as well. And when we bring people into a health and wellness online course that's self-directed, when we bring people into a business opportunity course that is self-directed, like the Health and Wellness online course and the Cash the Code program that's in the Prosper Code, we take all of the framework of our own limitations off, right? Maybe I didn't want to do this, or maybe I didn't really care about that, but maybe they will. And so I love the fact that now what's going to duplicate is whatever is inside of them already, right? We're creating a culture where people just get to be whoever they want to be, right? I don't want to create mini-me's. I want to create, you know, you to be you, not to be a mini-me. So, okay. So, let's see. Angela's asking a question. Do they sell the success guides together? If you're looking to have like one of each, yes, you do have to buy them individually. I just, you know, every month I buy like a 20 pack of one of the guides, right? And this way I just always have a fresh stock of them. If you buy the class in the box, you will get the class brochure, like the Natural Solutions brochure. You will also get the product guides and but you know, all of the live, share, build guides are not part of that anymore. Okay, so any other reflections? Was anybody else participating in the week 1 activities that wants to share some of their thoughts? What works for you? What are you liking so far? If you raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself and you can share a thought.
Terri, yeah, I'd like to share.
Is this Ro?
Yes, it is.
Hi, my dear.
Hello. I did the week 1, and I also did the health and wellness overview, the product training. And I felt that even though I knew a lot of the information, it was a good refresher class for me. There were still things that I needed to learn, and it was such a refreshing way to put everything in order. And now that I have that information, I can now recommend it to even the basics to anybody who's just getting started. And I absolutely loved it. Rebecca Hintze did an amazing job on the emotional. There was a section for the emotional aromatherapy that was absolutely amazing. And I love the fact that I can download whatever I want, and I can share that specifically with whoever is interested in that particular topic.
Yes.
And to have that at my fingertips is just great. And it was just organized perfectly. And I truly enjoyed it.
That is a great observation. You know,
Yes.
as you mentioned, and Pat also mentioned, it resonates, right?
Yes.
Even though we've been doing this for a while, a lot of the content, we know the basics of it. Just listening to it again, kind of like instilling and inspiring that passion that I felt when I first started.
Yes.
And
Back to the basics.
it's almost like an orchestra.
Yes.
So just because each instrument that we know how to play them, every once in a while you need to have something to which you tune, right? That gets you back to, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. And then the orchestra plays better when it's all tuned and grounded into something. And so when you come into a program like this and you review some of these basics again, but basics that have been tied in the most beautiful package with a big fat bow on it, it really, it's almost like it's a vibration that's like instilling and inspiring as I'm listening to it again.
Yes.
You know, some of those videos were just like, oh my God, I can't wait to do this.
Yeah, it's very inspiring.
Right? Very inspiring.
Yes.
And to me, that's very hopeful, right? That the people who did those videos make tons of money, and they could walk away and rest on their laurels and never do another class or mentor another builder or do anything. And yet they're still doing it. Why? Because their why is bigger than just making money, right? It's not about the money, but it's not about the money, right? So we have this deeper why of how we're going to change the world, one share, one drop at a time, as we're doing this as a profession. So it's always so hopeful when I see these really amazing people have the right to sit back and chill because they worked really hard to get where they are, but they're not. They're still doing mentoring programs for people like me that they never met. Right. So I love that too. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyone else want to share a reflection?
Terry, I have a question.
Sure.
Christine.
Hi, Miss Christine.
Hi. So is it possible to share the videos, any of the videos that are in the Prosper Code or Cash the Code program or the Health and Wellness? Can you share that video with another person who's not a doTERRA member or a member of the Prosper Code?
Yeah, most of them are shareable, right? Especially in the Health and Wellness online course. There are some in the Cash the Code program that are only available because they were recorded mentoring calls or coaching programs, and the recordings of that were never shared at large. They were in that small community of people being coached. So we've been able to get those recordings and put them in the Prosper Code. So most of them can be shared, but all of them can be shared just by encouraging someone to create an account
Right.
and register for the program, even if they only go to watch that one video. You know, there's a little bit of an exclusivity that I really like about it. Right? Only people, you know, that want to be part of this team can get it for free. There's such value here.
So I don't remember, I joined the Prosper Code website a while ago, so I don't remember exactly what you have to do when you log in to do that and create an account. Do you need to be part of the team to join the Prosper Code?
No, but the Hintze team members get a coupon code to get the fee waived or reduced depending on the course.
Okay.
So,
But if you're just joining so I see. So if I'm suggesting that somebody go to the Health and Wellness course, there's a fee for that unless.
Yeah, like I'll show you when you come out of the course. So like there's all these courses, right? And some of them have prices on them, right? And you know, so you know, anybody could join the course, and you know, if you've paid for it, you see what percentage you're complete. There are discounts for the Hintze team members, and some of the coupon codes waive the fee altogether. And so the Prosper Code Health and Wellness product training is one that we have a coupon code for, as well as the Cash the Code. Where's that one? Down here. The Cash the Code program is also 100% waived for Hintze team members. So anybody that's in your team, you can share the coupon with. Anyone that's a potential prospect, I would maybe log in with them, or if you know, there are videos that you can just share directly to them.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll practice. I'll just like, you know, share it with somebody and see if it works.
Okay. So any other reflections or comments that people want to
I have another.
Okay.
I know that I have a copy of the Prosper Code itself, a hard copy. Where is it? Can you also purchase that, the Prosper Code? Because it is so nice to have a hard copy versus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's on Aroma Tools, but let's just take a quick look now. I know that they were, like when we went to convention, they had them there. Let's see, search. Prosper Code. Yeah, so they're $2 each. I would even, you know, like sometimes they have bundled discounts. So let's just take a look.
Yeah, I might actually purchase some, and so that I can give that if I invited somebody to do the program, because they were expressing interest in building a team, then I would give them a hard copy, because I think it's a lot easier to follow. For me personally, I like, hands-on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the same way. I like physically having a piece of paper. So I'm going to put this in the chat so that if you want to copy the link, you can buy these guides here. But remember, in the email that you got earlier this week, there's a link to actually this brochure itself online. So you can share it with other people online, as well as downloading it for your own purpose. And then if you need it to be a professional printed copy, you can buy it from one of these supply stores. Okay, any other reflections? So what worked for you, right? Did anyone watch a video or use one of the tools and find, wow, that really made it easier? Or maybe there's still some fear or some blocks that we want to talk about before we go into our placement tips. Okay, so we'll just move on. No news is good news, right? So one of the things, when I first started enrolling people, I enrolled my sister and just started putting a lot of people under her. I enrolled one of the nurses, Debbie Nuzzi, who was taking care of my son. And, she was a passionate sharer, and, the two of us were just enrolling people. Ellen, my next door neighbor when I was growing up, is on my phone. So it was my very close warm market. And, I was just putting people places. I didn't really have a strategy. And so I have a very mature, high volume team, and much higher in volume than a lot of other diamonds because of that. So over the years, I've learned some different tools, right? And placing people and creating these mini teams, there's sometimes a short-sighted goal, right? I just want my power of 3 bonus. I'm just going to put these people here. And I never did that. I always asked different questions, like where would this person best be served, right? Would they be best served on my front line or under one of my leaders? Do they have a connection, right? Because this is a relationship business. And so wherever you put somebody, you want to embed them in a relationship, right? You want them to flourish and be connected to the community of users and really feel comfortable in that community. That's how we're going to inspire them, right? You need a gym buddy. You need someone who's going to walk through it with you, especially when someone is new to essential oils and natural solutions. So that's, so a lot of the things that I'm going to put on the screen now is a framework, right? There's no hard and fast rules, but there's a little bit of a framework that helps you make better decisions. So the first thing is that the people on your front line should be a declared builder or a placeholder. And so a declared builder is someone who out and out says, yes, I want to create a team. Yes, I'm open to receiving money, and I'm okay with that. And loves the products, and they just, there's no hang-ups, right? They're committed and they're capable. A placeholder is a strategy that some leaders use, that they have all these product users and none of them want to be a wellness advocate, and so you have to put that volume under some leader, and maybe you don't have a leader yet, so you can ask a family member or a friend who does not want to do the business to create an account, and you put that person and all these other members go under that person as a placeholder. And then when you find a builder a month later, 6 months later, a year later, this person abdicates their spot, right? They actually would be relinquishing their spot in your genealogy, and this person, brand new to the organization, would take their spot, and this person goes inactive for 6 months and then can rejoin someplace else another time, right? So it's a strategy sometimes that people use when you have a lot of volume and you're not really sure what to do with it. And especially when you're first getting started and you don't have anyone who has declared that they actually want to build a business. But one of the general tips is only place your new members under a declared builder or a leader, right? Or this placeholder, right? And you always want to keep the enrollership until it makes sense to transfer it so that it helps a bunch of people rank advance, including you, right? So these are like, these are some more complicated tips, but I'm kind of planting seeds in your brain right now so that as you're building this business, I want you to just, there's a lot more meat to this, and we're not going to get into that. We're just going to sprinkle it today. But I do want you to have an awareness and a concept so that when you start building your teams, we can come back and have deeper conversations that are ruled by what's going on in that specific environment, right? One of the general rules is that you want to keep these leaders, these strong builders, on your first line, or at least close. You know, Becky always told me to keep them in your power of 3, right? Don't go lower than those first 3 levels. We also are aware that in each of the legs, you only need 1 account that qualifies you, right? So if you have 2 builders, putting them one underneath each other doesn't really help you if you're keeping the enrollment of both of them, right? Because you only need 1 of them in a, like once you hit this one, everything underneath doesn't count in terms of qualifications. So that's just something to think about. Make those decisions based on where would this person have the best long-term growth? Where are they going to flourish? And this is an important one. Match the efforts, right? So there's a tendency when we're first getting started that we are so gung-ho. And I am guilty of this myself, right? We're so gung-ho, right? I took my sister and I enrolled all these people and I put them all underneath her. And she hadn't even opened up the kit I bought her, right, as a birthday present. It took her months. And I was already putting people underneath her, you know. And so this worked for me because it was my sister and I knew eventually she would come around. But, you know, what is this? Is this person at least coming to classes? Are they enrolling anybody on their own? Or are you doing all the work to create their team, right? So, you know, in any relationship, if you were in a relationship with a boyfriend or a spouse, and you did all the work in the relationship and they did none of it, how long do you think that relationship would last? I mean, really, being truthful, right? So this is no different. This is a relationship business. And so I want you to resist the temptation to put somebody there and to prop them up and do all the work. It's okay to do work with them and help them, creating new enrollments, sponsoring them at classes, and doing all you can to help them, but matching the effort, right? I'm going to do what you're going to do, and we're doing this together. This is not me doing for you, but me doing with you, right? So that's really important. This is kind of back to the same, you know, you only really need 1 qualifier in a particular leg. I think that was the last tip. Let me just go down a little bit. Yeah. Oh, this one is actually just a little bit different. So when you have a new leader, you can help build a leg for them, with them. But the next leg, right, we want to teach them how to duplicate that success, right? We want to teach the child that's learning how to do their shoe. I do this shoe, you do that shoe, right? So I'll tie this one and you tie that one, and we do it over and over again together until they feel comfortable doing it on their own, right? So that is really the strategy there. Okay. So upcoming, right? So people who are moving into the week 2, right? It's going to target the core activities and the daily practices that are going to move you and propel that success, right? You will need an accountability partner to offer you support, right? So this is maybe the week to start thinking about making a declaration. These are my number of hours I'm going to do, and I'm all in, right? I'm 100% committed to my 10 hours a week. And then announce that to someone so that they'll help hold you accountable to that. It's helpful to maybe reach out to the person who enrolled you and schedule like a business overview. Maybe they can look at your team and give you some ideas for classes to do over the summer, or as you're planning out maybe the next 3 to 6 months, right? It's good to have a plan. What is your plan, right? We do this intentionally. This is not a hobby, right? This is a profession. And if you were the CEO of a business, wouldn't you be asking, well, let's put a plan together. This is what I'm going to do, and tell me what you're going to do, and let's collaborate on that, right? And really enlarge your vision, right? How does your purpose, your personal vision, align with the doTERRA vehicle, right? At some point, there has to be this mesh for it to make sense for you, right? So we're going to get really clear on why we do what we do, and why this goal is so important to us. Because if the goal isn't important to us, then are we really going to stick with it when it gets really tough, right? At the first sign of trouble, we're going to be like dropping the bag off and running, right? And so we have to have a why that keeps us kind of anchored long enough to get through. All right, it's okay, I'm going to push through. So what? Nobody came to that class. Not a single person that said they were coming came. I don't care, right? I'm going to still get up there and do it again, right? So we're going to be doing a lot of really good things in this upcoming week. And again, spreading it out, right? Your homework will just be 30 minutes a day for the first 5 days. Day 6 is only about 10 minutes. And then, of course, day 7 is for you to do something on your joy list. So it is, 2 hours and 40 minutes of your day, right? So that's what's really important, is that of your whole week, 168 hours in a week, you're going to be asked to do 2.6 hours as part of your commitment, right? So 10 hours a week, 5 hours are going to be in appointments and classes. The other 5 hours are split between doing this program and personal development, right? And what am I doing to grow myself? Because I'm in a relationship business, and when I get better at me, I offer a better gift in service to other people. So doTERRA is absolutely the opportunity of a lifetime. It provides products that are amazing, that improve the quality of your health, incredible health benefits, but the business opportunity is also an opportunity, right? With any opportunity, we reap the benefit if we take advantage of the opportunity that lays before us, right? It's like a book that's sitting in front of you, right? This book is sitting here in front of me. I have an opportunity to read it. Just because the opportunity is there doesn't mean that I'm actually getting the benefit unless I absolutely open that book and start reading it. Same thing with this bottle, right? I have an opportunity to use it, but if it's not in my home, I can't use it. And if I finally get it and bring it into my home, I have to actually take the cap off. I have to rub it on me, and I love that. Sorry, just distracted. An opportunity is just that, an opportunity. It's up to us to take advantage of it. And so this program helps you learn how to use the tools without having to recreate the wheel. And so I really encourage you to walk through this program, do the health and wellness online course, and use it as a means of sharing with other people in a very easy way. So that's our content for tonight. We will be holding another check-in call next Monday at 7 p.m. I will send you another email that kind of reviews the week's activity. And, you know, we're going to hold open for a minute and see if anybody has any questions or other comments that they want to share.
Terri, I just have one comment about the placements.
Yes.
One of my builders, Jane, I had put a couple of wholesale customers under her, so I couldn't start building a leg because they were wholesale, so they couldn't have anyone under them. But I had enough on another leg, and I just needed a place to put some people when I first moved down here. And she told me later on that now she wasn't getting the fast start for those because I still was the enroller. I put her as a sponsor. But she had told me that that really made her want to build when she started getting checks, even though it wasn't that much. Like, she had wanted to build, but she was having a little hard time getting started. But when she started getting checks, it made it more real for her. So even if you have a couple of wholesale customers, you need a place to put them under a new builder, you know, someone who says they want to build. And that kind of jump-started her. And I was glad that she shared that with me.
That is a really good point. I love that you had a conversation that says, hey, you know, even if you're not going to build a big business, would you be open to me putting people underneath you and creating this little team? You know, that was really good to actually have that open conversation, you know, either as a placeholder or as a potential builder in the future. So, and I like that idea that, you know, when we help someone build that and maybe even give them the enrollments if they were sharing in the activities, that is a very inspiring thing. I know that there was a couple of times where, you know, people got that check and they were like, hey, that was easy, right? I had a party and all my friends love this product, and I also got a check, you know, so it is something that can open someone's mind to a greater possibility. So I like that.
Great.
And so how is she doing now?
She's doing well. She's having trouble getting people under her who say they want to build. So going down past her first level, she does have a couple committed. None of them are coming to my class tomorrow night, the business class. I was hoping they would. But I'm hoping she can go back with some information, even if she shares the business information as a one-on-one maybe, and gets them started. But she has a lot of potential, and a few people under her also have a lot of potential. And I think it just takes those first few enrollments, and then I think she'll take off and her team will take off.
Yes. One of the diamond coaching calls that I participated in was with Natalie Goddard, and she gave me some great advice, you know, because there was, you know, similar kind of conversation where, well, you know, we have people building, but the people under them, they say they want to build, but they're not really building, and blah, blah, blah. And so we were just kind of talking that through, and, you know, she took a step back. Natalie Goddard is amazing. She's one of the people who's in our upline, and they have the largest team in doTERRA. Like, they're amazing people. Well, the first thing she does is she steps back and then she kind of just restates what we said, right? So it was a really good way of like, let me really let that wash over me and understand completely your pain point, right? So in itself, just watching how she answered the question was amazing, right? Let me just understand this better. And so she kind of validated all of the concerns before she gave us some kind of answer or solution. All right. And so she let it wash over her, and then she kind of thought about it. And then after she got confirmation that she understood what we were explaining, that's when she said, well, She goes, do you know this person's why? And I said, actually, no, I don't.
That's what we have to get
Like,
to.
so if people aren't doing what they say they want to do, you know, sometimes they're hitting their upper limit ceilings, right? That they still want to do it, but they don't know how to burst through that limitation that they have. It could be fear, it could be doubt, it could just be that I'm not worthy or deserving, right? And the only thing that breaks them through things like that is to really get them connected to, well, why do I want to build this business in the first place? Right? So, you know, she's like, if you go back and have a conversation and just find out, well, what's her why? And is this really something, like you said you want to do this, but your behavior is different. So I'm gonna share two things with you on that. So the first thing is, prior to that, right, the best thing to do is to talk to someone up front, and as you're getting their commitment, right, this is why I love the build guide. So go to the Empowered Success, download the build guide, use the build guide to sit across the table from someone who says they want to be a builder. Walk them through what that means. There's a builder commitment page, right? And so as part of that conversation, we get to ask the person, tell me how you want me to show up in your life when I see behavior that's contrary to this commitment, right? Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to get in your face? Do you want me to just leave you alone, right? Like, give me permission, give me a framework for how can I support you, right? You'll find that you get very different answers from people. And this gives you, you know, okay, you said you wanted to build and that you were going to, you know, do this class and you were going to, this commit, like, you know, we get granular. What were their goals? What did they say? And so, you know, as part of that sponsorship, as we mentor people and become accountability partners, we actually go back to that and say, okay, what changed? Did your goal change? Or did something get in the way of you reaching that goal? So I'm here to help you get through it. If the goal is still the same, I'm here to help you get through it. If the goal changed, then I'm here to just learn more about you. What's going on in your life and what's your new goal? Because no matter what your goal is, I'm still here to support that, right? Like, I'm unattached from the outcome, but I'm living in awareness. I'm observing behavior, and I have previously had this conversation. This is, you declared that you wanted to be a builder, that this is what you wanted to do, and it involves these activities, that you're not showing up to do these activities anymore. So let's go back to that original conversation. So, and having a build guide that sits between you two makes the conversation less awkward when you want to have it. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And actually, I know Jane's why, and one person under her. I just found out her why the other day. She was telling me about different things, and I said, that's your why. And I said, that's real clear. And she just had to go to visit family in Michigan. I said, when you get back, we're going to talk more about that.
Right.
And include Jane, because Jane is her enroller.
Oh, look, now I can see your place, you know.
Oh, yes. I found this picture.
I finally stopped the screen share.
Bottles.
That's really cool.
Isn't that cool? I found that in a shop, and it has all bottles and everything. So that's good for my office.
You look really good, Miss Pat. Miss having your face around.
I know. I miss it too. I miss being there. But we'll see you in September at convention.
Well, hold on a second. I'm just going to say goodnight to our recording, and then we can chat a little bit more for anyone who wants to stay on. So thanks so much for joining us for the Prosper Code training. Tonight's check-in call was to review week 1 activities and to make sure that we're getting started. And I just will leave you with that thought that this is a self-directed, you know, it's a program that you set the speed. So let go of any kind of overwhelm, right? If you want to do week 1 and you want it to take 3 weeks to do it, that's okay. And if you want to do weeks 1, 2, and 3 in week 1, that's okay too, right? It's completely at your pace, and there's no pun intended there. So thanks for joining us.